Hey YouTube, it's your beekeeper here. We're going to do a voiceover on this video because apparently the audio on this clip here is horrible. Well, not apparently, it is horrible. Apparently what I did was I had a chunk of grease or some funk on my fingers, and when I picked up the camera, I covered the microphone hole on this Contour Roam camera with a chunk of funk. Funky chunky. And I didn't realize it at the time. And then when I'm here doing the editing of this video, it sounded horrible and muffled. But what I'm installing here is I'm installing these MP split intake boots. What this does is this will give me the opportunity of not having to pull the top half of the engine apart. If I had the intention of dropping this engine for some reason, it would go so much easier to do this with traditional boots, but these split boots I've used before and they work well. What this does is it allows me to not have to pull off an intake, because you've got to take the generator, the whole intake manifold off. You got to take the side intake piece off, and when the engine's in the car, it's really just a pain in the rear. That MP kit there, and I'll put the part number in the description, because I'm sure I know I talked about it on the original audio, but you can barely hear it. But it's cool. I got it from JBugs, just like I did that box of parts, and it worked well. It worked really, really well. And you'll see at the end of the video, what I end up doing is I use some carb cleaner and I spray around the intake boots to make sure that there's no leaking. And when you spray it, the idle did not change at all. So there's no intake boot leak. So we're just going to cut the old ones off. This took about 11 minutes per side. It actually went really quickly, quicker than I had anticipated. Honestly, it's been a long time since I've done intake boots on a V-dub, so that one's like really funky. Watch, it's going to rip here. And I'm probably saying something important there, but you see how it tore. Who's that? Oh, that's a neighbor, of course, right? Everybody's got to come by and tell me a Volkswagen story. So the neighbors walking their dogs and stuff, they come by and they want to talk. That's why I need a locked warehouse where I could just close the door, turn on the music, and make movies and not be bothered. But anyway, that's just my own antisocial personality there. But yeah, these boots they slip right on there. They are keyed, so they interlock into each other, and you put the two clamps on, and this thing sits tight, and it doesn't leak, and it's awesome, and it's like 10 or 12 bucks, something like that. Really affordably priced through JBugs. I mean, they're just chunks of rubber, right, and a couple band clamps, but it's nice that you're not getting robbed on this stuff. And it made a big difference. It really did. The engine runs quite nicely. Right now, I'm sitting here in my editing studio, and I'm looking at a box full of parts that I purchased from Rock Auto for this car here. You know, you can't buy a $150 car and not expect to spend a few $100s getting it on the road, no matter how good you are. And I know I'm pretty good. I myself am pretty good at eyeballing a good deal, but there's still stuff and things that wear out, especially when things sit for more than a decade, and they just deteriorate and they need to be replaced. So right now, literally right at my feet, I'm looking at a set of spark plug wires, plugs, rotor cap, condenser. I'm looking at a new fuel filter. I'm looking at a new master cylinder as well. Once I got the four brakes once I got the four brakes installed, the new master cylinders, the new shoes, put everything back together, bled all the system out, I was not happy with the pedal feel, because about every third or fourth firm brake, man, that felt good. Oh yeah, the pedal feels great. And after about 3 or 4 brakes, it goes right to the floor. I mean, like no resistance, straight to the floor, like there's a bad seal in the master cylinder. And then, it comes right back up again. The next pump is perfect. And it's not like it's building up when you're pumping it, so there's no air in the system. So I suspect this system sat dry for a while. That's my suspicion, is that it sat for a number of years in the previous owner's garage, probably without brake fluid in it. And then when they tried to put brake fluid in it, the front ones were frozen, they were stuck, and then the back ones leaked like crazy. I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I'm looking at a new master cylinder, so I'm going to replace that, and that's just good measure anyway. And then I'm also looking at a set of Felpro valve cover gaskets, because I want to adjust the brakes. So that'll be another video when I do did I just say brakes? Good grief, when I adjust the valves. So that'll be another video when I do a full tune-up on this: plugs, rotor cap, wires, points, condenser, valve adjustment, and then we'll do a master cylinder and a fuel filter. Yeah, I'm going to replace all the fuel lines on this thing just because I don't trust them. And now we're going to do the right side. Like I said, it was about 11 minutes and 14 seconds was the first one, and then this one here. Oh, I can't do it now when I'm doing the voiceover. This one's about 15 or 20 seconds longer than the other side. I don't know why. Maybe because I felt the need to talk during this clip. But again, there's a piece of goo over the microphone right now, so it doesn't sound good at all. But we'll get that going, and once I get it mechanically set, all the brakes will be brand new. That'll make me happy. Once I get the engine done too, I'll also change the oil while I'm in there. I know that'll make some of you happy. So I'm not running on this decades-old oil, 11-year-old oil. Mechanically, it'll be sound, and then the next step is to pick up a fender and get the front end back together, lined up, and get the headlights adjusted. I do have to knock, you see that big dent in the rear right fender. I do need to knock that dent out, come in with a mallet from the inside, knock that dent back so that tail light, that right tail light, looks even to the other side. Right now it's kind of kicked over a little bit, but it's all just metal. It's easy. So this right side here I cut as well, but it's actually in pretty good shape. So you just kind of clean both of the mating surfaces, make sure you get all the goo off of it. It wasn't that dirty, but you still want to make sure things are clean. So once I get that done, I haven't been able to get to the DMV yet just because my work schedule right now is pretty crazy. DMV is not accepting appointments in California, and the lines are cuckoo. I go by there even an hour before they open. There's a DMV office not too far from where I work, and I'll go there an hour before they open, and there's already 60 people in line, and I just, whatever. I'm probably going to get penalized because I've waited too long from the date of purchase, but hopefully they understand that there's just no way around it. I can't make an appointment. I'd have made an appointment if I could, but they're not doing it right now, so you got to wait in line, which is, oops, sorry, I'm just moving stuff around my desk, which is ridiculous, I think. It's ridiculous, but what do I know? I'm just a dummy wrenching on a 50-year-old car. Little shop monkey out here. But these boots work well. I'm really, really happy with it so far. The car is going to be fine. It's going to be fine. The registration will be fine. And whether I'm going to keep this red one, I'm not really sure. Still up in the air. I want something older. I was looking at a 62 Bug just yesterday. The engine was seized on it allegedly. Pretty original. It has the same owner for the last 50 years, I think he said. He's owned it. Second owner. But I can't look like a used car lot in front of my house. It's bad enough that I've got 6 vehicles and a camper sitting out in front of my car. And today I took that Yamaha Terra Pro quad apart. That's blown apart in my driveway right now. It's wrapped in blue tarp while I order the new stator. The stator pooped the bed on it. I lost spark. I don't know if you remember. That'll be for another video. I took a bunch of video of that. Just letting you know what's coming up. We got some quad fixing videos, but my house looks a little redneck with 6 vehicles in front of it, so I can't really drag home in good conscience another VW to have 3 in front of the house. I don't know. We'll see. I got to buy a warehouse or something and go Jay Leno or something. But so that side's done. We're gonna plug her all back together. Just kind of double check everything, and let's fire this thing off. It sounds kind of like it did before. There's really not any change to the sound. Oh man, I started it there. But I'm talking. That's all right. We'll get to the next video. And, yep. Okay, so hang tight. All right, guys. Appreciate you watching. Gotta go. Gotta run. See ya.